What's up, everyone? I want to show you this thermostat on this Nissan Quest. In order to put the steel seal in it, you want to take the thermostat out. You don't want anything restricting the flow of the steel seal. So you want the steel seal to be able to flow easily in there. And this is your thermostat, right? You have an inlet here and your main inlet from the radiator there. I don't know how well this camera lets you see these screws, but you see it looks like it's a Phillips screwdriver, but it has a special cut in it. And that cut is designed so that you can only tighten this screw. You can't loosen it. So if I put a Phillips on it, I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. I can tighten, see? But I can't. It won't grab to loosen. It only grabs to tighten. So you can't, they don't want you to take this off. I know it's got a lot of crud in there, but they don't want you to take this off. They want that to permanently stay in there. And I need a wide open flow, and I need this housing back on. That's the problem with a lot of these thermostat housings where that's attached. Now, normally you can just squeeze it down and get it out, slide it out on some of them, but they just kind of slide into a groove. They're not bolted in. On this Nissan one, you can't. So what I would have to do is cut this here and cut this here to take the middle out and have wide open flow and be able to put the steel seal inside of it. Put this back on, have everything flowing with wide open flow through here so the steel seal won't be restricted, like I said. It's not a fun thermostat to do. I'll show you where it goes. So if you look down in this hole here, this is your alternator. It's a brand new alternator. So I have a plastic bag over it so that none of this coolant gets inside the alternator, or water, whatever is left in it. And this, hold on a second. My hand is slippy. All right, so this is where that thermostat goes. You got 3 bolts. One on the far left, one on the far right, and then the bag is covering the one on the bottom. And this bolt that adjusts the tension on the belt, on the alternator belt, has to be tensioned all the way down in order to get to that bolt. There's no way to get to it. And I mean, I was using a small 10 millimeter with the wobbler on a 1/4 inch, which is about as small as you can get. And I was trying to get in there, if I can get it to stay. And this is still kind of in the way from when that's on there. Oh my goodness, the struggle's real. Stay on there. So that would be on the bolt, and then this is still kind of in the way. And when this is up, there's no way you can get to it. It's too much of a twist. So you have to loosen that. That's a 14, taking it all the way down just to have access to that. It's not a fun one to get to. Like I said, you'll spill coolant all over the alternator if you don't cover it. So you want to keep it covered. Here's your thermostat gasket. And that's where the thermostat's gonna go. So the thermostat will sit in there like that and have those two hoses. And then this fuse box will be bolted down right there. And that's not fun to get to. It has, where did I set that down? Now I don't remember where I set it down. This is the cup. Oh, here it is. It has this bracket with the two bolts, and it clips on. The plastic fuse box slides in and clips on. So this is in your way, even with that out. So you got to take the bracket and everything out, because that bracket bolts right here, and even with the fuse box out, the bracket's still right here in the way. I'll show you. If it'll stay without being bolted. So yeah, that's in the way. You see what I mean? So you're gonna have to unbolt that completely. And to get it out, you're gonna take the bolt from there out, slide it off of the clip here, bend that out of the way, and then unbolt the two bottom bolts. And then that's out of the way. And then, as you can see, I got it bent, carefully bent over the power steering windshield wash reservoir. Plastic cover I just set out of my way here. I'll move it even further out of my way. And now I need to cut that thermostat open and bolt it back in and tighten up the belt so that the water pump will spin the coolant through. But I need this to be straight flow, and as you can see, it's gunked up, and this is not an easy thermostat. I got the computer hooked back up, and I got the ground bolted in, which would normally bolt in to the windshield wiper arm tray. I just put a nut on the back of it to ground it, and that's grounded right there. And I got it all plugged in. I got the intake put back in with the air filter and everything else. I got the battery disconnected. I would need to reconnect it, obviously, but right now what's holding me up is putting this thermostat back on, connecting the batteries, and then begin to pour the steel seal or water and steel seal in the system and running it. I got no coil and no spark plug and no fuel injector connected in that number 3 cylinder underneath that intake towards the back of the intake, like I showed you in the video before. But I need to have wide open flow from this thermostat, so I have to cut that thermostat. So now that means we have to buy a new thermostat, right? And this is old and cruddy, and we got a hot summer coming, so might as well do it. It's like $38 plus tax at your auto parts store for a new one, because it comes with the aluminum housing and all that. It's not a cheap thermostat. Stupid design if you ask me, but whatever. That's these damn vans. So I'm going to do the thermostat. I just wanted to talk about that because I failed to talk about it in the other video. I'll still be making another video here shortly showing the actual steel seal going in with the car running. But I wanted to stop and make another quick video discussing the importance of doing the thermostat. You want to have that unrestricted straight flow of coolant. You don't want steel seal building up around the thermostat, hardening up around the thermostat. You want wide open flow through there when you add the steel seal. On these, it's going to cost you a thermostat to do it. It sucks, but at the same time, that's the original thermostat to this van. It's never been replaced. So, you know, $150 almost 200,000 miles later, and it still has the original thermostat. So it needs to be replaced. After we do the steel seal, you know it has a new thermostat. We're not going to do the water pump because that's a whole nother scenario that runs with the timing chain. You have to pull the engine. It's a big deal. So it's actually a big peace of mind to know that, hey, at least I put a new thermostat on it when we did the steel seal. There's literally nothing I can do but drive it until it goes, if there were to be other problems. So long story short, bite the bullet, pay for the thermostat, do this the right way. You needed a new thermostat according to mileage as preventative service anyways. And the customer will always be quick to argue, well, there's nothing wrong with that thermostat. It wasn't overheating. Why do I got to buy a new one? Oh, I've put so much money in this already. And that's what the customers love to do. They don't understand. They're not thinking further down the road. They're not thinking long term. Sooner or later, that's going to go out. Look how much labor it requires to do this thermostat. This is not the thermostat you want to have to do yourself in your driveway at the house. It's not fun to do. It's not rocket science to do, but it's not a fun one. You know, anytime you have to remove the whole entire fuse box, the tray that it's mounted on, I mean, loosen serpentine belts, you name it. Anytime you have to get into that, losing coolant, removing fluid, anytime you have to remove all that, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it cheaping out and not replacing it now to spare myself of doing that later? So save yourself the labor later down the road. I don't want to be preaching to the choir. You guys get the message. Don't be a Jew about it. Buy a new thermostat. Cut the old thermostat. Snip it so it's straight flow. Put the housing back on. Run your steel seal. After the steel seal's been done, you put the take the intake off, put the coil, put the spark plug back in it, connect the fuel injector connector, put the brand new thermostat on it, and run it, and pray to Jesus for a good outcome. And that's all you can really do. I don't want to make the video too long. Like I said, catch you on the next one. God bless y'all. See you here on another video shortly. Peace.